that's the very next step that I will take. But whoever comes in to do that is going to have to operate at a very high level, because I cannot let that service level drop for my clients. I cannot let stuff start to fall over just because we're not on the ball and we're not phoning solicitors, or we're not phoning brokers. Or
that's where the systems come in, though, isn't it? So obviously, if you document how that needs to look, you know, the chain check is done thoroughly, the relationships are built with those solicitors up and down the chain. If we build a process in Nurture so that anybody else that comes into your team does it your way, you don't need to worry about it.
100%. I agree with that. I agree with that probably 95%. So you're absolutely right. Can you automate an awful lot of it? Yes. But there still comes a point, and this is the difference. This is the difference between us, and because if that was the case, you could just AI it. You know, you could just automate phone calls and all. It's not that simple. It's when it falls outside of the parameters that it's meant to follow, that's when you make a difference. That's when a really good agent earns his corn.
So that's how you know if there's a process to follow, but it drops outside of that. That's going to flag it up, isn't it?
You've got to know when it falls outside, and you've got to know what to do to respond to that and get it back on track again. And that's, you know, like I said, that's what sets agents and good agents apart. So loads of agents will have a sales progressor, but the amount of times I speak to the sales progressor in a high street agency, and that's all they do, and they actually haven't got a clue where anything is. They don't know when searches are coming in. They don't know whether a survey's been done. You just think, you don't actually do anything else. This is all you do. I'm not asking you to split the atom in your lunch break here, right? All I need is a simple answer to a very simple question, and you don't know it, and that's not acceptable. How do you think your client would feel if they knew that you don't know what's going on? You know, so those things are really, really important. That's step number one. After that, you know, I need this to be a team. I need to look like, I don't need to look like Dominic Marcel, because he's probably he is a lot more handsome than me. So I don't think he would want to look like me either. But you get the point I'm making. Right? It needs to look like his kind of business. And there's for Dominic Marcel, read several others, Ivy and Stone. You know, there's lots of good examples of it within the Keller Williams model, where people have built out really good teams. And I know what you're going to say is down to the processes again. And you're right, to bring people in, you know, those processes got to be documented, and there's got to be something for them to come into. And that's the key. But that's again where somewhere like Keller Williams comes in to help us build that. It's not just reliant on me sitting down with a blank piece of paper and documenting everything, because frankly I wouldn't know where to start, because I don't have the patience for that kind of stuff. But with a team like Keller Williams behind me, then I know that they'll help me do that, and they'll help me find the people to put into the roles that I've got. So that's the next stage.
That's what we're starting now, looking to recruit the right people into the business, obviously building out those systems as well, those processes. So not necessarily that everything's automated, but at least that there's triggers set so people know what's the procedure, what's the lead generation, procedure as well.
Yeah, and it's a really interesting point, because actually automating it 100% is not something that I'd want to really see, because what sets us apart as standalone agents and from the high street is the fact that we are individuals. It is us as a person that's dealing with these people. And like, going back to my comments at the start, you know, people have got to have an edge. If you try and shave off all the edges by, you know, hamstringing them with a process, then they have no edge. And then what's the point? You could just bring anyone into that role. You know, we just become as bad as everybody else in this industry at that point. You know, what makes us different is because we allow ourselves to be different. We allow ourselves to be more flexible, to respond to client requirements. And that isn't possible if you can only do it this way. The book says this, so therefore you can't say this and you can't do that.